The shrill alarm echoed through the bustling corridors of Arc 7, piercing the routine humdrum with an urgency that set hearts pounding. Maya Rios stood hunched over a flickering console in the dimly lit observation deck, her practiced fingers dancing over holographic displays as she recalibrated the station's energy grid for the third time that week. Each burst of the horizon effect strained their systems dangerously. Again? Maya muttered under her breath, brushing a stray lock of dark hair from her forehead. Her sharp gaze flickered to the viewport, where inky black space met a cascade of luminous colors, a phenomenon that, despite its beauty, heralded a looming catastrophe. "Maya, we're losing stability on Sector 4, a voice crackled over her wrist communicator, pulling her from the chromatic spectacle. She recognized the voice as Ethan's, her assistant and lifelong friend, whose knack for finding trouble unintentionally rivaled her own. "On it, Ethan," Maya replied tersely, tapping commands with meticulous precision. As the grid stabilized, she couldn't shake the feeling that these disruptions were more than mere cosmic anomalies. Something inside her whispered it was a pattern, a message hidden within the chaos. But who would listen to an underappreciated astro-engineer when power-hungry factions argued over control of the arcs? The deck shuddered, bringing Maya back to the moment. "I have to know," she thought, a simmering determination sparking within. With every surge, the celestial dance spoke to her in a language only her instincts dared understand. Tomorrow she would find her answers. Maya's quarters were small, cluttered with blueprints and equipment salvaged from Arc 7's labyrinthine guts. Despite the mess, each item had a place, a testament to her precision and order amidst chaos. As she reviewed the recordings of the horizon effect, dots connected in her mind, a symphony of light and time distortions forming a pattern too familiar to ignore. "It's not random," she murmured, eyes narrowing at the screen. The room was dim, the only illumination the glow from her workstation casting shadows that danced like specters on the bulkheads. A chirp from her door interrupted her train of thought. "Come in," she called, not taking her eyes off the data. Ethan stepped in, his usual cocky grin replaced with a furrowed brow. "More disturbances?" he inquired, trying to catch a glimpse over her shoulder. "Yes, but it's more complex than that," Maya replied, her voice laced with intensity. "These aren't arbitrary. It's a coded language, a signal." Ethan raised an eyebrow, skepticism mingling with curiosity. "You're saying someone's out there trying to talk to us?" he asked, shifting closer. "An ancient civilization?" Maya affirmed. "And their messages are layered within these energy bursts." Maya's conviction sparked something within Ethan. He had always known her instincts were sharp, but this was beyond anything they had encountered. "So what's the plan?" he asked, feeling the weight of her revelation sink in. "We find a way to prove it," Maya stated firmly, her eyes burning with resolve. "We need allies, someone in the councils who will hear us out and take action before these surges endanger us all." As Ethan nodded, Maya knew the journey ahead was filled with political intrigue and danger. Yet, it was also ripe with the promise of discovery, a chance to rewrite humanity's fate among the stars. The council chamber of Arc 7 was a formidable place, dominated by towering pillars and hollow screens displaying the intergalactic map of the clustered Arc stations. The air was thick with authority and skepticism as Maya nervously stepped forward, Ethan by her side, and her heart hammered in her chest. "Engineer Rios," Counselor Tarkin greeted, his voice as cool as his calculating gaze. The old man's reputation was as a staunch traditionalist, but time was short, and Maya had no choice but to rely on logic to sway him. With a deep breath, she began her presentation, outlining the unique patterns within the horizon effect and her hypothesis of an ancient alien attempt to communicate. Her voice was steady, each word carefully chosen to break through the skepticism-tinged silence. Murmurs rustled among the seated council members as she finished, some dismissive, others intrigued. "Miss Rios," Tarkin started, folding his hands methodically. "Are you suggesting that these surges pose both a threat and an opportunity?" Maya nodded, her eyes ablaze with a mix of urgency and hope. "Yes, Counselor. We can harness the information encoded within the signals to reinforce our systems. If interpreted correctly, this could be a means to avert disaster, perhaps even advance our understanding of the universe." Ethan watched the council's faces closely, recognizing flickers of uncertainty and interest. He knew tension lurked beneath their polished exteriors, tension that shifted like restless shadows with every pulsing disruption near an arc. The council's deliberation was brief, a consensus swayed by necessity more than conviction. Councillor Tarkin leaned forward at last, a glimmer of intrigue betraying his typically stoic facade. "Very well, Engineer Rios," he declared. "You've piqued our interest. You'll have limited access to further research this phenomenon. Do not squander it." Relief washed over Maya, knowing this was but a single step in their slowly unraveling path. Yet a new resolve fortified her spirit. Together, she and Ethan were determined to unearth truths that transcended human understanding. The journey had truly begun, and every challenge they faced would carve a new chapter for humanity's legacy among the stars. Maya's provisional clearance from the Council opened doors once sealed, granting her and Ethan access to vast repositories of ARC-7's scientific archives. For days they toiled in secluded labs, their fascination with the encoded signals transforming tireless hours into whispers of discovery. They pored over ancient texts and star maps, juxtaposing the horizon effect's cadence with cosmic phenomena from epochs past. As discoveries brightened their mood, Maya watched Ethan unfurl her technical drawings with an enthusiasm that matched her own. "This configuration," he said, gesturing to a schematic of Stargate-like structures, "aligns perfectly with some of the energy conduits found at the Ark's core. It's as if they intended for us to tap into this." Maya's eyes glistened beneath the lab's fluorescent glow, absorbing his words. Her mind raced to connect forgotten histories with current technology. Here was a path to harness the signals without triggering further astronomical distortions. They crafted a prototype, an augmented interface, designed to selectively synchronize with specific wavelengths emanating from the surges. Each trial was a learning experience, rendering systems both unexpected failures and beguiling successes. During one experiment, the familiar voice of the device interface imbued with synthetic calm exhaled, "Signal link established, primary datum decrypted." "We did it!" Ethan exclaimed, his voice echoing in shared triumph. They began to decode a star chart, galactic coordinates that glowed with unspoken promises of knowledge and perhaps an invitation. However, triumph was shadowed by wariness as Maya remembered the Ark's political quagmire. These coordinates posed a risk, foreign and unknown. Inadvertently unleashing the unknown might be their end rather than their salvation. "If we're to follow through on this, we need allies we can trust," Maya posited, her gaze fixed unflinchingly on Ethan's eyes. "Not everyone here wants unity. Some might see this as power." And just like that, Maya realized this pursuit stretched far beyond science. It was about trust and courage, aligning the fate of humanity with the ancient whispers of the cosmos. One wrong turn, and the dream could grind to a halt beneath the spread of fear. They were standing at the threshold, and now, true to every great journey, it was time to step through. In the underbelly of ARC-7, where murmurs of machinery mixed with the constant whir of life support systems, Maya and Ethan sought out potential allies among those who shared their thirst for understanding. Their search led them to Leah Valen, a former diplomat turned information broker. Her sharp intelligence was matched only by her network's reach, and she was known for having her ear to the ground. Inside Leah's covert hub, the trio exchanged tense glances alongside hidden smiles of camaraderie. "I've heard your whispers across the station," Leah began, reviewing the data on a holographic pad. "Theories about the horizon effect aren't new, but yours, it has teeth." Ethan leaned in, shrugging off his jaded skepticism. "Then you know what you're risking, Leah. We can't afford to squander this." Leah chuckled, her eyes never leaving Maya's. "Relax, Ethan. This is bigger than territory squabbles," she said thoughtfully. "We stand on the cusp of something transformative. Tell me, Maya, why should I lend my resources to this mission of yours?" The question hung heavy between them, an unspoken challenge. Maya took a breath, feeling the weight of her resolve merge with a burgeoning confidence. "Because our future depends on it. The coordinates are more than a destination. They're a call for unity across the arcs. In unraveling their purpose, we might not only solve the disruptions, but forge alliances unimaginable." Leah watched her, calculating. Then, in a moment of clarity, her demeanor softened, and she nodded briskly. I'll assist, she promised. We prepare and move discreetly. You'll need supplies, coordinates confirmed, and my contacts can facilitate passage. With a solid plan in place, Maya felt a mantle of hope bolster her spirit. Bound by necessity and a vision of the future, their makeshift alliance began preparations for the odyssey ahead, one fraught with promise and peril in equal measure. It was an expedition into the unknown, yet Maya felt that each step drew them closer to unraveling the mysteries of existence, intertwined with a destiny that only whispered across the starlit void. As they dispersed into the pulsating heart of Arc 7, the echoes of Maya's newfound purpose intertwined with the melody of the cosmos, guiding them boldly onward. Departure from Arc 7 was a covert affair, shrouded in the pretense of a routine maintenance mission. Maya, Ethan, and Leah, equipped with charts and resolute determination, climbed aboard the sleek, modified shuttle capable of breaching the celestial boundaries with its enhanced drive system. As they launched into the void, the familiar sight of their home station receded, replaced by the haunting expanse of space. "Ready to explore beyond the known?" Ethan asked, feigning nonchalance, even as a ripple of excitement tingled beneath his skin. "Ready as I'll ever be," Maya replied, her voice steady, but her heart pounding in synchrony with their newfound adventure. Leah sat at the helm, her fingers flying across the controls with deft precision. "Coordinates locked. It's time to unveil the galaxy's secrets," she announced, her eyes shining with shared anticipation. As they traveled through space, the harmony of starlight and shadows painted their path, illuminating the possibilities ahead. Hours blended into days filled with calibrations, calculations, and camaraderie, broken only by the vast silence of the cosmos. Out here, away from the tangled web of politics and intrigue, Maya felt liberated. She was free to delve into the enigma of the signals without scrutiny, free to dream of what lay beyond, like the explorers from Earth's distant past seeking uncharted lands. The eclipse of an unfamiliar planet loomed ahead, a world not marked on any known maps. "This is it," Leah murmured, her voice barely above a whisper in reverence to the discovery. Their data indicated that the planet hid one key piece of the puzzle, perhaps a gateway, a marker, or a relic from the civilization that reached out across millennia. Defying the nervous tremble that touched her heart, Maya steeled herself for the descent. They glided down through emerald wisps of atmosphere, touching the surface with a shudder that echoed readiness. The landscape was barren but breathtaking, dominated by monolithic structures etched with symbols reminiscent of the data Maya had analyzed. Ethan gazed in awe. "Looks like we're not alone," he said, a thrill underlying his solemnity. Maya's eyes traced the structures, an endless narrative inscribed upon stone whispered to her soul, an invitation echoing through space-time, finally heard after eons of silence. As they stepped onto the alien soil, Maya knew the path forward was braided with wonder and struggle. It promised to test their mettle, heart, and resolve like never before. The alien landscape towered around them, each colossal structure a riddle cast in stone. Maya, Ethan, and Leah moved cautiously, their senses attuned to the unfamiliar world. The air was charged with a subtle energy, whispering of secrets and lost histories. Maya led the way towards the nearest monolith, its surface adorned with intricate carvings and shimmering glyphs. She traced her fingers along the cool, unyielding stone, feeling the hum of power beneath her touch. This was a message, one that transcended language, burrowing into the very essence of understanding. "These symbols," Maya noted, voice hushed with reverence, "they mirror the patterns from the horizon effect. This civilization was far more advanced than we ever imagined." Ethan kneeled beside her, examining the engravings closely. "And they wanted us to find this. But why?" His question resonated in the stillness, a poignant reminder of the inscrutable intentions behind this alien outreach. Leah, always pragmatic, stood back, assessing the environment with a critical eye. "Whatever the reason, they're still shaping our universe. We need to proceed with caution. There's always more than what meets the eye." As if in response, the ground beneath them rumbled, a low vibrato that grew in intensity. A line of energy crackled along the base of the monolith, a path leading towards a central chamber hidden within its depths. "Looks like we've been invited," Maya said, a wry smile tugging at her lips, though her heart raced with trepidation. Together, they they descended into the opening, a passage lined with bioluminescent flora casting ghostly luminescence on their path. Inside, the chamber was a marvel of light and shadow, a symphony of alien technology alive beneath the earth. At the chamber's heart lay a console pulsing with energy, its presence commanding and enigmatic. This, Maya breathed, is the key. Maybe it's a beacon or a control module. We need to interface, understand its purpose. With time slipping away and stakes climbing higher, Maya hesitated only briefly. Her life was a tapestry of preparation for this moment, a confluence of knowledge and intuition driving her forward. She reached towards the console, breath held, hope intertwined with fear. As her fingers brushed the surface, the interface activated, flooding the room with a cascade of light and information. An ancient melody, almost haunting in its beauty, filled the chamber, echoing across ages. And in that moment, the full majesty of the alien intent became clear. There was a message, and within it, a startling revelation. Maya's understanding unfurled like a flower in the dawn. The fate of her world and those left undiscovered teetered on the precipice of irrevocable change. It was only the beginning of what lay ahead. As the alien console came to life, a holographic image unfurled before them, flickering with the vivid colors of distant nebulae. A galactic map expanded, detailed with constellations and astronomical phenomena previously unknown to humanity. Maya, Ethan, and Leah stood transfixed, bathing in the glow of history cascading around them. "It's a star map," Maya whispered, her voice filled with awe as she traced the holographic lines. "And this? It shows connections, almost like a network of communications or pathways." Ethan nodded, his eyes wide with understanding. These gateways could serve as a massive intergalactic network. They've mapped the cosmos with a precision we've barely dreamt of. The melody that had filled the chamber distorted, transforming into a sequence of tonal pulses, an alien language on the verge of comprehension. Leah, ever the realist, broke the spell. "Maya, we need to interpret these frequencies quickly. If these are indeed pathways, then understanding them could change everything for the arcs." As Maya attuned the interface, deciphering its meaning using algorithms she and Ethan had devised, the projections shifted again, highlighting key constellations and focusing in on a singular celestial phenomenon. The horizon effect, Maya realized, eyes wide. This is what's causing the energy surges. It's tied to these portals. Ethan frowned as understanding dawned. If we can control the surges, stabilize them, maybe we could harness their energy, he speculated, his engineer's mind already crafting potential solutions. Or, Leah interjected, imagine if we could use these pathways to connect the arcs, to unify them across vast distances, to share resources, knowledge, strength. But even as possibilities bloomed before them, Maya felt the weight of what she must do next. The console's revelations came with a choice. Reach out through these pathways, make contact and extend the hand of humanity, or remain insular and risk the isolation that had long defined their existence. "There's more at stake here than just the arcs," Maya finally spoke, her voice unwavering though her heart trembled. "This is about forging a new chapter for humanity, about stepping beyond the boundaries we set for ourselves, and meeting the universe halfway." As their collective gaze lingered on the galaxy's promised spokes painted across the console, the trio knew there was no turning back. Together on this frontier, each step forward was balanced on the cusp of foresight and instinct. They were driven by the whispers of an ancient civilization waiting across the cosmic divide. A partnership poised on the horizon. Only by taking the next step could they uncover the full extent of what their universe held, becoming not only recipients of its wisdom but also its stewards. The realization of their discovery rippled through the fabric of the arcs, resonating with those few enlightened enough to perceive its promise. Word spread faster than light across the channels of Arc 7's clandestine networks, sowing seeds of intrigue, hope, and trepidation among the inhabitants. Back on the shuttle, Maya, Ethan, and Leah prepared for their return, their mission transformed into a beacon for the future. As they ascended from the planet's surface, each cradled the weight of what they must accomplish, a knowledge that bore the potential to redefine human existence. Once we're back, it won't be long before others follow, Maya realized, eyes reflecting the cosmic maps within the alien chamber. We have to be ready to manage what comes next. Ethan, strapping himself into the co-pilot seat, nodded. We'll need to unite the disparate factions, turn their focus from division to exploration. It's the only way to secure stability throughout the arcs. Leah interfaced with the shuttle's controls, navigating their course with precision. This begins with transparency, rebuilding trust. People need to see their connection to the cosmos, not just the fragments they reside on. She tapped into the console, broadcasting initial data to trusted allies, initiating a new chapter of cooperation. As their shuttle approached the shimmering bulk of Arc 7, anticipation intermingled with anxiety. Upon docking, they were met by a cohort of supporters, those who had championed innovation over isolation. Among them was Counselor Tarkin, the skeptic-turned-believer, his demeanor softened but no less sharp. "Welcome home," Tarkin greeted, his voice resonating with authority. "And congratulations on your success. We have much to discuss concerning the Council's roles moving forward." Maya nodded, ready to lay their findings before them, ready to unite the arcs through shared understanding and vision. The Council convened in urgency, their deliberations mirroring the vibrancy of the Horizon Effect as schematics, star maps, and theories were laid bare. Humanity stood poised at a precipice, teetering between aversion and aspiration, between fear of the unknown and the embrace of possibility. "What we found," Maya addressed the chamber, her gaze unwavering, "is a network capable of unprecedented connection and discovery. We face a choice, cling to separatism or reach beyond, understanding that our survival is linked to our evolution and the embrace of our shared cosmic identity." The discussions were heated, challenged by concerns of practicality and security, yet invigorated by hope and potential. Maya watched as those around her, even the most resistant, were drawn into the orbit of their mission. Above them, the arcs drifted as islands among stars, each tethered by the threads of their past, yet bound by the beckoning future Maya now held. Humanity stood on the edge of awakening, an opportunity gifted through time and space, waiting only for their choice to grasp it with open minds and outstretched hands. In the months that followed their return, the hum of activity within the arcs crescendoed into a symphony of collaboration and innovation. What had started as a singular revelation now permeated the very essence of human society aboard the floating arcs, as the encoded messages of the Horizon Effect reshaped their collective destiny. Maya stood at the helm of this transformation, her vision transcending the boundaries of isolationist thought. She watched as scientists and engineers from various arcs gathered in shared spaces, their collaboration weaving a new tapestry of unity. Under their guidance, the arcs began to synchronize with the celestial gateways, stabilizing energy flows and harnessing the powerful surges that had once threatened their existence. The former tension between isolation and unity diffused into a narrative of shared exploration. Advances in technology and diplomacy fused the arcs into a seamless alliance, their collective strength a testament to human resilience and adaptability. The council chambers, once a battleground of politics and ego, transformed into forums of open dialogue and strategic planning. The cosmic maps they now understood with clarity hung above these gatherings, flaming wheels of potential spinning in the ether. As Maya addressed the council, confidence infused her voice. "Today we chart our course not just as independents, but as one collective navigating the vastness. The networks are awakening, their echoes inviting us to join the ancient chorus of the stars." Ethan, standing beside her, added, "In reaching out, we find our place not just among each other, but within the galaxy's boundaries itself. This is our time to make contact, to learn, and to grow, together." Counselor Tarkin, whose skepticism had long been replaced with admiration, nodded. "You've championed a vision that extended beyond survival, Maya. You've gifted us the universe." As representatives stepped forward, formalizing plans for exploration arms equipped to traverse and communicate within the galactic network, the reality of their uncharted future crystallized. There lay untold worlds awaiting them, archives of civilizations past and present to be discovered, understood, and embraced. Opportunities for alliances, for technology, and for narrative to be shared across cultures awaited, ready for the bonds forged in humanity's perseverance to reach them. As the council prepared to disband, an overriding broadcast flowed through the Ark's corridors, a unified declaration of intent and hope. The horizon afforded them new understandings and paths, its brilliance reframing every possibility they had once considered known. Maya looked out beyond Arc 7 into the throes of cosmic infinity. A gentle pulse flickered in rhythm to her heart, the universe welcoming them into its enigmatic embrace. This was not an end, but a new dawn, a celestial awakening, charted by those brave enough to listen to the whispers of the stars and respond in kind. Together, they stepped forward, embracing the call of the endless sky.